So yesterday we did basic IP addressing of ASA. We saw how the routes like static routing, that is default route, is done. How the policies are applied inbound and outbound, that is input and output. Input traffic applied on the in and out. ICMP is stateless, so we did some solution. 1 minute. 1 minute, I'll just share. I gave you one file where I gave you the different ASA modes, that is user exe mode, privileged mode, global configuration mode, interface mode, and then you have Roman mode also. Okay. So same like router, here also you have modes. So now today I'll show you how to configure Telnet on ASA. So you need to say Telnet, not like router where you have to specify the enable secret and line BTY. Here the command is Telnet. You have to specify the IP address according to the infrastructure. I want R3 should do Telnet to ASA. According to the diagram, all of you can see the diagram. I want R3 to do Telnet to ASA. So I'll just specify the name of R3. And also I have to tell my ASA. I'm telling my ASA, boss, one host who is administrator, whose IP address is 10.3, is going to Telnet you because you are ASA. So when I'm telling my ASA that an administrator whose IP address is 10.3 is going to do Telnet, is asking me 10.2, I think we have given 10.2. Anything? 1 minute. Huh? Any chat is there? I am not able to see the chat. What happened? Hello? Mirza, you are not able to hear me? All of you, you can hear me, na? Okay, good. So let me share my screen once again. Okay. So I'm telling my firewall that an administrator whose IP address is 10.2 is going to Telnet. So my firewall is very, curious to know from where he is going to do Telnet. So I need to tell him that he is inside. So he is going to Telnet it from inside. So he say, okay, no problem. So you see, when I go to R3, who is the inside host, and try to do Telnet to 192.168 10.1, Telnet is open. show sessions. So show some command is there. I forgot. Cisco. See, earlier we used to have Telnet password as Cisco, but as the version started changing, they said this is a default password, so everybody knows about that. So they said you can go and change the password. So I made it Disco. So now when I go here and say Disco, you can see I entered into ASA, and when I say who, I can see the administrator who is doing the telnet session, and he's allowed. So what is the command to do telnet? The first thing you have to say is telnet, then you have to tell him who is going to do telnet. You don't have to use access class statement here, which normally we do in router. First we enable telnet, then anybody can telnet, and then you make an access list where you allow only particular host, and then you restrict them with the access class. No, you don't have to do anything like that. So now what happens if another guy try to do telnet? Telnet 192.168.10.1. You see he is rejecting firewall. Why? Because you already told your firewall. What is the command to see? Show run telnet. And how to set the password? PSSWD. Earlier the password was Cisco. Then we can go and change the password. So somebody is trying to do telnet. Now you see, you can also set enable password. So when I go out, Cisco, somebody is trying to do telnet. First password is Disco, then enable, and the second password is Cisco.
I have one query.
Yes.
See, if anyone wants to see, this is a WAN IP address. Source would be the router's WAN IP address, right? In our configuration. What if someone want to from the LAN side, uh, from the R3's LAN side, he wants to telnet that ASA.
Which ASA?
Uh, 192.168.10.1, I believe.
That only I showed you, no?
No. From line end,
He's in
you have
LAN only, no? Inside.
no. From router's line R3's LAN end. Router R3's LAN end.
That means behind R3 you mean to say.
Yeah, behind R3. If
Okay.
someone wants to telnet ASA, then what would be the commands on?
See, basically, if somebody is there behind R3, okay, one
Yeah,
host is behind R3. So first thing is reachability.
yeah, reachability is there.
Okay. And then if reachability is there, okay, you mean to say that how he is going to traverse from R3 to ASA. Okay.
No. reachability routing is there, but
Okay.
what would be the command? Like, see, you have shown us like 192.168.10.3 is allowed at the ASA end, right?
Yeah.
Right, which 10.3, which is our router WAN interface,
Mhm.
right? Now my
10.3.
concern,
So in our case, 10.3 is a host basically.
okay, 10.3 is host. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I forgot it. Okay, I
10.3 is a host, not the router.
okay. No, no, I understand now. I understand. I thought that R3 is a router.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
So any host, if any host I want to configure telnet at ASN, I need to command telnet that host name, IP address, and whether from which side he enter at the ASN that zone.
Correct.
Okay, okay, I
From which
understand.
side he is going to enter. Like for example, suppose I want somebody from the DMZ side should telnet him. So I
Okay,
will say telnet 10.1.1.2,
okay,
255.255.255.255.
and then
And he is
DMZ.
the DMZ. Okay.
Right, right, right,
Now
right.
what happens if the server who is 10.1.1.2 show IP INT brief. Now he tried to do telnet to 10.1.1.1. See. Now
Right, right.
remember one thing always in this case. In router case, what happens? Very important thing. In router case, what happens? You can enter from any side of the router. What is the meaning of that? I'll tell you. Like for example, I said this host can enter and do telnet, right? So he has to do telnet on this IP address and he's coming from inside. I said this fellow who is coming from this side and entering here. Now see, if R3 is allowed, though he is allowed, he cannot enter like that. In router, it is possible. Got it? In router, it is possible. Like for example, R7 want to do telnet to R1. How he will do telnet? What are the IPs he can do telnet if you allow? He will do telnet on 12 and he can also do telnet on 20. Possible, huh?
Right, right, right.
Possible. But in ASA, it is not possible. If this fellow, though he is allowed on ASA, he cannot do telnet from DMZ. You can see. So I'm going on R3. Let's place R3 and R4 here behind R1. Let's place ASA here. Let's place R5 here with the server. So now R3 is trying to do telnet, not all. That means if anybody try to do telnet like that, is not allowed. If you really want to do telnet who is allowed, you have to go like that. Same network. If he is allowed, then he has to go like that. Same network. Got it? And the very important thing that you should know that telnet is not allowed from outside. Like for example, you said, I want this branch user to do telnet to me. From where? Outside. See, you allowed this branch user to do telnet from outside. Huh? Command is accepted. This guy is also reachable. Cisco. See, huh? Is reachable to firewall. Now he'll do telnet. Though you allowed him, on ASA, telling this fellow is going to come from outside. See, when you said this fellow is going to come from DMZ, he allowed him. When you said this fellow, and people start think, oh no, then there is a security level, no? So you have to add an access list. Okay, no problem. I'll add an access list. Already some access list is there. What? So access list. What is the access list? Out ICMP. So I say access list out underscore ICMP line 5 permit TCP. I say any to come on host 20.1.1.1 equal to 23. So when I say show access list, you can see I also allowed anyone to come. Deny got down. Anyone to come on this particular device, that is ASA for Telnet. Now I try to do. No, reachability is there. Huh? He's pinging. The reason is Telnet is not allowed from outside.
Head count is not shown increasing on there.
Because it's not considered for Telnet.
Okay. Okay.
I have a question. If Tusha is clear.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Just wanted to ask if let's say host R3 and R4, they are both administrators for the ASA. If you want to permit them for Telnet, do you issue two separate statements for Telnet, or is there a way that you can bundle them in one statement?
See, basically, you will be having, you cannot have 500 administrator in an office, right?
Right.
You will have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 maximum. But you say, no, sir. In my company, all are administrators. So all are managing ASA. Then what you can do? You can just write down this and you can manage it with subnet mask. Like you said, 248 inside. So what is the meaning of 248? 248 means how many IPs are allowed now? 10.1, 10.2, 10.3, 256 minus 248, right?
Right.
Right, no? So how many IP are allowed? Only 6 IP are allowed.
6.
Got it? You can do this,
Yep.
or you do one thing. You can play with the subnet mask. Huh? There is no wildcard mask here in ASA. Or you can do what? You can individually say 10.2 and 10.3. Because you cannot have 500 administrators. You will have 1, 2, 3, 4 max.
Okay.
So you can play with the subnet mask to allow, because see, this is your 0 subnet, no? So the what is the first valid IP? That is 10.1. Let's check it. Show IP INT brief. First is given to ASA. So we'll try to do, this is allowed. We'll remove that. Okay. 2 is also there. Why refuse?
No, 2 is not hosted anywhere. No?
Sorry, 2 is
2 is not
2
configured.
is here. 2 is
Okay.
here. It is 1. Okay, let's see. Show run telnet. I removed it. So I'll do copy and paste. No. Then I add one more statement here. Okay. So show run telnet. Once again, you see what I did. I remove this. Okay. Once again, I go here. Telnet working. Telnet working. Understood?
Yep, clear. Thanks.
One more guy comes again with some other IP, suppose. So IP int brief, no? I'll just change and show you. IP address 192.168.10.5 255.255.255.0. No shut. Five is also able to go. Disco. So you said what? 10.0 to 248. So what is the first valid IP? 1. Second valid IP. What is the broadcast address? 7. That means you have 6 valid IP. Okay. We'll do one thing. We'll make it 10. Do telnet 192.168.10.1. See now. 10.10 doesn't come under 248 valid range. Rejected, no? 10.10 is rejected. Understood? Who asked this
Understood. Thank you.
question? Who asked this question?
Mho.
So I was just come back to that point. R7 is not able to do telnet. Though he is reachable, though I gave the order to ASA that boss allow, but she is not allowing him. Why? Because he is telling me, boss, how can I allow a person from outside who is coming from security level 0? So I said, okay, no problem. I'll give you one policy also. He said, no, sorry, boss. I don't want your policy. Telnet is, first of all, not at all safe, man. And on top, you are telling R7 to do telnet over internet or whatever. I don't know how he's coming. I don't know. And you are allowing me to do telnet. Like, you are allowing him to do telnet to me as a firewall. I am not going to allow him. Then I asked him, how you allowed this guy? Says, boss, he's coming from security level 100. How you allowed this guy? Boss, he's coming from security level 50. I am not going to allow anyone coming from security level 0. Got it? Got it?
Yeah.
So if I go and make it security level 100, show run. I need to do one more thing. If I am doing same security level on both the interfaces, I need to save inter-interface, permit communication between different interfaces, the same security level. Okay. Now I'll do telnet from R7. Let me see if telnet is there. Not there. I'm allowing from open. Got it? Because see, many times student ask me how he knows that he is coming from outside. It is just the name that tells him that he's coming from outside, so he's not. No, it is not just the name. It is the name as well as the security level. That see, name again is outside only. It's outside only, no? Where I change the name. Many times when we fight, he said, don't fight outside. People are listening to our fight. It's not good. Why outsiders should know? Every time the term is outside, outsiders, outside or outsiders denotes that these people are not known to us, these people are not trusted to us, they are not our people. So why we should fight in front of them? Why we should discuss in front of them? So we always say, don't discuss with outsiders, don't discuss in front of outsider, come home, we'll discuss sitting in the bedroom or in the living room. So here it is not the word outside that is not allowing the traffic to come in from off telnet, it is the security level. And though I gave the policy, it is not working. So try to understand. Many times there is a cross questions that how ASA came to know that he's coming from untrusted zone. See, I did 100 here. So my firewall consider what? The security level to allow the traffic. So he's telling boss,
Um,
yeah.
Under what circumstances would you declare it best to make the security level 100 for both inside and outside?
Yeah, right. Nice question. Who is this guy? Please identify yourself. Sorry,
Okay.
I don't
But you can call me Jerry. Sorry, you can call me Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah.
So Jerry, see, initially I told you I'm working from last 10 years and more than 10 years. So when I have worked on many versions earlier, if I tell you the story, it's a big story. People were really getting respect when they were operating firewalls, because it was really very difficult to understand, which was very difficult to configure also. So in those days, there was in older version, it was not possible to set the security level. Now we can set the security level, but the question is, why you want to set the security level of two interface same? See, basically, if you are going from bedroom to kitchen, you would like any restrictions coming in between? You say, why? It's my own house, it's my own flat. So if I'm going from bedroom to kitchen, nobody should stop me, man. I'm not talking about DMZ. I'm talking about two zones. They are LAN only. But only thing is, this LAN belongs to VLAN 10 and this LAN belongs to VLAN 20. And the company wants, there shouldn't be any policy going on between VLAN 10, because it is again making things complicated. No, you are going to put a policy to allow VLAN 10 traffic to go on VLAN 20. You will put policy on VLAN 20 traffic. So company said, no, no, these are all our own VLANs and we don't want to do all those kind of things. We want these two VLANs to communicate with each other. No doubt this is a layer 3 device, so you don't have to do inter VLAN also. They'll communicate with each other, no problem. Until you need to do something on ASA to understand VLANs, no doubt, and you have to do trunking also. But at least you know that these two VLANs you want to communicate. So do one thing, you put them in 100. No, so what will happen if there is no conflict in the levels? Like if suppose you keep 100 for inside and if you keep 99 also for VLAN 20, they are not going to communicate, because 100 can communicate with 99. But what about 99? 99 cannot communicate with 100. No, again then you have to add policies, right, Jerry? So there is a situation where you don't want the conflict between them, and that is why they made a provision that, okay, if you think that both these demilitarized zones, should communicate with each other, then put this into 50 and put this into 50. What will happen then? They can easily communicate with each other. But again, 0 will not be able to communicate until unless policy. 100 will definitely communicate with both this. So the only advantage you are getting with the same security level is you don't have to add policies between these two interfaces. Earlier it was not possible. You cannot have 50 for both. So if you cannot have 50 for both, then what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it 49, right? So if I'm going to put 49, what will happen? 50 can easily communicate with 49. What about 49? 49 cannot communicate with 50. Then again I have to add policies for 49 to communicate with 50. So I don't want restrictions between them two. It is optional configuration mode. It is not compulsory. If you really don't want them to communicate, you change their security level. Na?
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So understood? Telnet. Telnet is not to be done from outside. Why R7 was not allowed? Because the security level was 0. So he was not allowing to do Telnet. Say, boss, no. Telnet is not allowed from outside. But one fellow was really arguing with my student one day in interview, and he was telling my student, who told you that Telnet is not allowed? He said, my sir told me and he practically showed me. He showed me and practically also showed me that Telnet is not allowed from security. So I am confirmed. Okay. Then he agreed. But then one more, see, if I was the interviewer, I would have not agreed, because it is possible to do Telnet if you build a tunnel. Okay. So who's going to do all those stuff, man? Building a tunnel and all. You can do Telnet if you are building a tunnel, because now that is safe. So why to do Telnet, man? It is already not safe. It is better you go for SSH. Okay. So I hope you understood Telnet, how to configure Telnet. Let's change the security level for outside. Already I changed it. Show run Telnet. You don't have to say pipe section and all. You can easily say show run and see whatever you want. Timeout is 5. After 5 minutes, idle time in minutes, after which a Telnet session will be closed. Default is 5 minutes. If you want to increase, you can increase, or you can leave it for default. Okay. Now we'll do SSH.
Munawar, one question.
Yeah.
This is based on the name, if that name, or is based on the security level?
Security level. No? Name if is still outside, no?
No, if I change it outside instead of outside, I will make a
Okay,
my own that
we'll test
customized.
it. We'll test it. Name if, what we'll make? We'll make Khan. Okay, we'll make Khan. So when I'm doing show run, it is telling name if is Khan and show run Telnet.
The security level is okay.
Khan outside, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Security level. So again, if I go and say security level 100,
Even security level 1 also it will accept, right?
yes. Anything other than 0.
0. Okay.
See, got
Good.
no. Khan is still there.
Okay.
Name if Khan is still there. Okay. Okay. So when I say show run, everything is intact. Now I'll do SSH similar to router, but command differs. First you have to set the host name. So already we have host name. Then what? The command is not IP domain name. The command is what? Domain name. We say octa.com. Then we say what? Crypto key generate RSA. I hope you know basic SSH configuration on routers. So you need to generate a key, a set of keys, so that this server and client communicate with each other. That is SSH server and SSH client communicate with each other using these keys. The communication between them has to be secured with these keys. So you're generating the keys, and then you say what? Username Khan, password Cisco. In router you give privilege level in between. Here you don't give privilege level in between. The privilege level is in the last. 15 is the highest level of privilege I'm giving. Now I'll go and say AAA authentication SSH console local. It's syntax, huh? It's capital local. So I'm telling my SSH, I'm telling my firewall that boss, somebody is going to do SSH because he is not able to do SSH. So he is going to do SSH from outside. Please allow him to do SSH. This guy 172.16.10.2. And when you do SSH, you try to do local authentication. And what is the AAA authentication, authorization and accounting? So you try to do here. You don't have to use AAA new model command, which you do in on routers, because this is a firewall. Firewall don't need AAA new model. It is already activated with AAA. So here what happens? One minute. Huh? Okay. So I said whenever somebody do SSH, which belongs to console authentication category. What is console authentication category? A category where somebody is trying to manage a device remotely, either through Telnet, or somebody is trying to do SSH, or somebody is trying to do HTTPS. So if somebody is trying to do Telnet remotely to access the device, if somebody is trying to do SSH, which is secure compared to Telnet, if somebody is trying to do HTTPS, that is GUI, they all belongs to the category of authentication called what? Console authentication. Console. I cannot use the word serial because serial is nothing but console. So the fourth type of authentication, like when you have an ASA and if you plug a console cable and connect it to PC, then my ASA will not allow you until unless you give username and password. Because I said don't allow anyone without asking username and password for Telnet also, for SSH also, for HTTPS also, and for serial also. Serial means console cable. Huh? So at present we are doing this testing. I can do it with this testing also. So what command I have to give? Somebody try to do Telnet, which is again belongs to the category, and you don't look here and there. I already gave you the name of the administrator, which is Khan, and password is Cisco. You just look into the local database, and it is not small and mixed case, huh? It is capital. You look into the local database and get his the information and allow him. So when somebody telnet or when somebody SSH, he will immediately try to find out the local database. If he finds one, he will try to match it. So let's see. So SSH minus L, login name Khan, IP address Cisco, enable disco, sorry Cisco, show SSH session. Username Khan, session started, encryption AES, Advanced Encryption Standard 128, version 1.99. One fellow logged in. Same thing you do it for R3 also. SSH, who's going to do? 2, or you say 0? You said many administrators are there. Play with the subnet mask. Huh? Don't put 255.255.255.0, otherwise 254 users will be allowed for SSH. You don't allow 254 users. Allow only administrator. Show IP INT brief. What is the IP address of this guy? 2. So he also -L means login. Khan 192.168.10.1. Don't use 20.111. That is for outside. No? You can't use. If you use also, it is not going to work. They are trying to verify. It's trying to verify. It's taking time. It's trying to verify the username. You want to allow? Don't say 192.168.10.1. Server belong to a subnet of 10.112. You can't go directly and go move like that from LAN. Got stuck.
From outside, we take only SSH, not Telnet.
Huh?
From outside,
Yes.
we only take SSH of the
Yeah,
ASA.
because see, you're trying to access firewall, yeah, from somewhere else.
Understood.
It is risky, no?
Telnet will not work.
Yeah,
In any condition, Telnet will not work.
not work.
Though there is a workaround like for tunneling and all, but that is a workaround. So at that time,
Instead of doing that, you can go for SSH, no? Why?
SSH. Right, right.
Better, no? It is safe.
Hmm.
Okay.
And for SSH configuration, we need command like IP domain, username, RSA key generation,
Yes, yes,
and SSH.
yes.
This command we require for the SSH
Same what you do on router.
on router, right?
So what I have done, I made files for that. I don't know where. I think I gave you the basic command file, no? In that, I think you have, I gave you what is privilege mode, what is user exe mode, what is privilege mode, what is config mode, what is interface mode. There is no line mode in AS. Yeah,
Hmm.
in router you have line mode, you have user exe mode. This is user exe mode. After enable, you enter into privilege. By default, the password is blank. You have interface mode and you have ROM1 mode. Okay, and then I gave you the command basic configuration, how I configured this file. Also I gave you. Here are the questions. So how to set telnet password. Okay, I gave you this file. Okay, domain name, crypto, inside, outside, name, authentication, local, how to do SSH from the router. Everything is there in that file. Basic ASA latest. Clear? Telnet SSH, enable password, host name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there is a question here that comes, that if there are 5 users, how many? 5 users. Users might be from LAN, users might be from branch, any trusted users you can say, and you have 5 servers in your premises, and then you have 5 services on each and every server. Huh? So suppose you want to allow 5 users to access 5 servers, and on each server you want them to access 5 services. How many access lists you are going to design?
15, I believe.
5 5 the 25, and 25 into 5, 125 ACL. I can make one access list and do this. Topic name is object group. Topic name is what? Object grouping. Now object group is carrying some category. If you know the access list properly extended, then you have access list, then you have number, or you can say named access list also, whatever. Then the first thing you do is what? You write down the protocol, TCP, UDP, ICMP, IP, after access list number and all. Then you do what? You write down permit and deny, and then you write down the source network or a host. Then you write down the destination network, and then you write down service. So you have protocol, you have service, and when we talk about source network and destination network, they comes under category called network. So you can see there is a category of network where you can specify the IP address or network, subnet mask, whatever. Then you have a category of protocol. I told you, extended access list. You have protocol, TCP, UDP, ICMP, IP. For ICMP also they made one special group. Why? Because ICMP is again a suite of protocol, no? Bulk. Lot of things are there. Echo request, echo reply, trace route, unreachable. Lot of things are there again in ICMP also. So they said no, don't include them in protocol. Make a separate ICMP group. Okay. They added in the new version one security. But the fourth one is again what? Service. If you really want single user, then you can, instead of making a group, you can write down simple also, but they made it one more group. But otherwise, there are 4 main categories that you have to understand. One is network, second is protocol, third is service, and the fourth is ICMP. In that, ICMP is also okay. The 3 important category that you have to know is what: network, protocol, and service. So let's solve this question which I gave you: 5 users, 5 services, 5 different services on each server. Huh? That means how many servers are there? 5 servers. On each server there are 5 different services. Okay. So I'm going to make an object group called network. He's telling me to specify the name of that network. So I say branch users. Please always you should know what name you have given, whatever name you. So it makes me enter into a group called branch user group. Branch user is the name. Huh? Branch users. Category is network, object group. Now he's asking me which user you are talking about, man. So you need to define, or you need to specify the name of that particular object. So you say network object. Here you can specify the 5 host. Say I said 172.16.10.2. I said 5, one more host. 6 is there, then 9 is there, and then 10 is there. So I was talking about these 5 hosts or these 5 users whose IP address is 2, 5, 6, 9, and 10. My requirement. Huh? If you say no, sir, we have a requirement where we want the whole network. So no problem. You can also enter the whole network 172.16.10.0, and you can specify the subnet mask. Now what happens? Instead of specifying the host, but my question says 5 users, no? So I took only 5 users, but you were telling me no, sir, we have a requirement of 254 users. So I can specify the network as well as I can specify the, if it is not accepting, you will not accept. So I just remove it, because my requirement is not the whole network. My requirement is the specific user, that is 2569. Okay, done. All those who are working ladies, no, always remember, all those who are working ladies, those who work in offices, whole weekdays they don't have time to do anything. That means early morning they have to rush to office, but before going office they have to prepare a breakfast. And let me tell you, here we have foreigners also. Indian mentality is we want breakfast from our wives. We don't do anything, we are lazy. Some people do nowadays. So many of the husbands, they wait for the breakfast. So the lady has to cook the breakfast, and not only breakfast, the tiffin, that is the food for afternoon, and the food for evening also sometimes. So she has to rush doing all those things. So what she do on Sundays? She never enjoys the weekend. Again, on Sunday she do what? She prepares something and keep it in the refrigerator, so that when the week starts, she can take those things and make those vegetables or mutton, or you can say beef, whatever. If she wants to make, she's going to just remove the ingredients, she has made it, and she'll do it. So her job is easy. So what we did, we also did the same thing. We created an object group where we gave the information about these users, and the name of the object group was branch users. Now we are going to make one more object group of servers, because my question says servers as a destination. So I made again, servers are also IP addresses, no? So they also come under the category of network only. What is the name I want to give? Servers. Network object host 10.1.1.2 3 4, 5 and 6. So I created one more object group of servers. I'm just making things ready. I'm not still applying. Object group protocol. Now this time I finished source. Source was branch users and destination is server. So that job is done. 5 users, 5 servers. Now I'm going to make a category of the protocol. So I gave the name proto. Already the term protocol is being used, na? So I'll give a name called proto, not protocol. Otherwise I'll get confused. People will get, what is protocol and what is another protocol. So protocol is the category and proto is the name of that category or that object group. Now you say a different term, protocol object. You can see the number of protocol, like when you configure an access list, you always see after the access list number you have an option of protocol also, no? Already in our configuration also we have some access list configured, and you can see I have configured protocol also. Okay, I don't know where it's from. So protocol object is TCP. At present whatever service I am talking about is all TCP, but you say no sir, we have TCP, we have UDP. So you can club more protocol object also in this. So you can make TCP, you can make UDP, you can make ICMP also, but ICMP is already having a separate. So the main services that act after the access list is either TCP or UDP. So when I say so run object group, see I made 3 objects, branch users, servers. I can also make one more object group that is not part of a question, say LAN users, and I can say object group, sorry, network object, specify the whole network. This is also will do. Just making an object group so that I can utilize this afterwards. Last but not least is the object group which I am going to use for service. What is the name of this services? Now here you have to add one more thing. You are telling me that this object group is for service that you do after the last in the access list you do EQ and then you specify telnet 23 HTTP HTTPS, that is 80 443 25 NTP 123, whatever services you specify in the last, that same services you have to call it here. So I said I am going to use only TCP services. Okay, no problem. If you are going to use TCP and UDP, you specify that. If you are going to use only UDP, you are going to specify this. But now I know, I am sure that all the 5 services which I gave you in the question are all TCP based. So I said no, whatever services I am going to use is all TCP based. Okay, now the object is done. Object group is the name. So I created source, that is the question was 5 users. I created the server which was 5 servers. I created the protocol and services. Now I'll make an access list. I said access list, this time I'm going to use number, or you can say out dash in permit. See, now I used to say TCP, no, I won't say TCP. Now I'll say what? Object group. What is the name of that protocol object group? Proto. But see, if you forget, suppose, and put a question mark, see, you can't see any of the further command because you are not giving the right name of that object group protocol. And what is the right name of that object group protocol is proto. And now you put a question mark, you'll get source IP address. So again, here you don't specify the source IP. You say what? Object group branch. Now I have to be very much sure what name I give. So, and case sensitive. Huh? So this is users. So I said branch users. If something is wrong, again destination IP again is telling. See, destination IP is not telling. So the first thing I did, what? Source. Now I'll say what? Object group, and I have to say the server as a destination. So what I have created? Object group server, and it is in capital. And then instead of EQ specifying, I will say object group and the name of the services object group that I created. Services. Enter. Now see, if I am doing some mistake, I'll get some errors. Services object, so specified object services empty is telling, empty. Let's see. So we go here and see this empty because we didn't add the protocols only. So if you have done some mistake, you will point out which mistake you are doing. He will not accept the command. It's telling you told me there is a service called services called TCP. You gave me the name of that services, but when I went and checked there, nothing is there, man. You're telling services, nothing is there. You forgot, I think, to create. So I said, oh yes, I forgot, man. See, now I go inside and say what? Port object. See, now you can specify individual ports. Like I can say, I want 23, I want 21, I want 25, I want 80, I want 443. So yes, I took all the TCP services that I was looking for branch users. I was looking for Telnet, I was looking for FTP, I was looking for SMTP, I was looking for HTTP, I was looking for HTTP. But again, sometimes people say, oh, it is headache, man. Who's going to remember all those port numbers? Secondly, who's going to? So no worry, you can write down HTTP, you can write down HTTPS, you can write down Telnet, you can write down FTP, no problem. No, but in my company there are 100 ports that I have to open. Who's going to do that, man? So do one thing, you can say range. You know that all the ports, recognized ports start from 0 to 1, 0 to 3. So you say 0 to 1, 0 to 3. What will happen? Instead of 5 services, all the services will be either permitted or denied. It depends on your access list. Huh? It is not going to be permitted. It can be denied also. So you can specify, or you say, no. All my services are within the range of 100 only. So remember, 443 is not going to work because you said 0 to 100. So all the services which are starting from 0 to 100 will be allowed or denied, whatever. But then 443, then you have to give individually. No problem. You can do like that, and you can give 443 individually also. Already you have given 443 individually. See, you said telnet, that is 23. That means it comes under 0 to 100. So you don't have to give these statements. But you do one thing. 0 to 100 means all of them comes under 0 to 100. But HTTP is 443. So you do one thing. Add one more statement of HTTPS. That's all. And remove all of them. So you can do that way. You can do this way also. No problem. Now let's see. I go here and do the same thing. Now this time he accepted. So when I say show run access list, now I don't need any other access list because my access list is this one, the latest one, out in. So I said, boss, anything which I have mentioned in the object group proto will be taken as a protocol. Anything I have mentioned in the branch users will be taken as a source. Anything that I have mentioned in the object group servers will be taken as the destination. Anything that I have this thing in the services. Okay, good. Then I'll do what? Access group. I have to apply out in interface outside. Remember, you cannot have two access list on outside. So out underscore ICMP will go, because earlier out underscore ICMP was there. Now I applied what? Out underscore in. So that is gone. You cannot have two access lists on one interface on inbound. You can have one inbound and you can have one outbound with the same name, but you cannot have two inbound access lists. Same funda what you have studied in router. Let's see whether it's working or not. So we'll test for the first one, which says I want to do telnet to this server. Still netting is not there. It should work. It's not working. Okay, so let's see where is the problem. Server 1, Cisco, show IP INT brief. What is the IP address? Show IP route. Let me check whether I am able to go here. Yes, I can go here. Okay, I go here and say enable secret Cisco, and then I say line VTY 04, password Cisco, transport input telnet, and SSH. So I just saved it. Okay. So let's see if the access list is getting hit or not. So I said, you see how many access lists? 125 access lists and more than that. See, I gave only one access list, but he created so many statements. He created. I never did this. So let me check who is my host. So for all the 5 services, he has created 5 statements. So for 10.2 and this server, he created 5 statements: telnet, FTP, and it is showing 0 hit count, 000. Okay, let's see. Can I ping 20.1.1.1? Yes. Do I have a route for this network on R1? No, route is not there. So I need to do a route on R1 which points toward ASA for 10 network and 192.168.10.0 network. Okay, once again check it. Now it's telling connection refused by the remote host. Earlier it was not showing anything. Connection timeout. Let's check who is this user. You can see any hit counts not there. No hit counts are. Yes, hit count is there. That means at least the connection is coming to ASA from 170 to 16.10.2, and ASA is permitting also. Hit count and permit statement is there. That means he's allowing to go on 10.1.1.2. Good. But 10.1.1.2 is not allowing him. God knows. Let's check it. So when I say show IP route, nothing is there. When I say show run, I can see a gateway is there. Perfect. I can go till gateway. Let me check if my gateway can come to me. Definitely you will also be able to come. So when I say show run, let me check. Okay, this is also okay. Can firewall ping 172.16.10.2? show run. Enable secret is there. Vitiva is also there. Any access list on DMZ possible? Yes. Into DMZ, and into DMZ you have one permit statement that is allowed. Okay. So when I say show access list in underscore DMZ, I need to make an access list in underscore DMZ, same name, line to permit TCP any suppose. So show access list. You should never make any, just testing. To So this is, I showed you troubleshooting where you have to slowly and slowly find out what is the issue. First we tried to do telnet. When we checked it, the access list, there were no hit count. That means routing issue. So I immediately know, oh, this is routing issue because the fellow is not getting any hit count, routing issue. Then suddenly I noted that at least I'm getting hit count. I noted that R5 is not configured for telnet. So I configured telnet also. Then I check whether R5 is able to reach the gateway and gateway is also reaching. Then I check ASA is able to reach R7. So all the connectivity issues not there. But then I check the access list which is telling only permit. So you see now when I said in DMZ, okay, you can see there is a hit count here for in DMZ. Yes, allow for telnet. You can make it more specific also. So I say no. Okay, so show run in DMZ specific. Working, yes. This is a hit count for telnet specific. So what we did, we allowed this particular host to come on this particular server for one service. We never allowed 10.3 show run object group. So 125 access list is gone. We never allowed 10.3. Let's see if 10.3 can come. Show IP INT brief. Config T interface E0 by 0. IP address 172.16.10.3 255.255.255.0. No shut. Now let's see if this fellow can do telnet as a, see, connection refuse, because we have one more statement. I'll make one more statement. Now editing becomes so easy here. Show access list out underscore in. Show access list out underscore in. There is a hit count here for D9. Informational. Somebody is trying to do telnet man. Two hit counts. Now you are telling me, sir, I want to add this host. No problem. You go into this object group. No need to touch the access list. You go and add this guy. So when I say show run, you can see now 3 is also part of this object group. Let's see if we can do now telnet. Yes. Why? Because I never touched the access list. I'm just going and doing editing in the. Somebody is saying no, don't allow this 10.10. Remove him. Somebody is saying we want to add more services in this. Instead of 5 we want to add 10. Do it. You have to do. If somebody is saying no, we want to form one more group and one more set of servers, one more. See, I never said everything can be done in only one single access list. No, I never said that. But at least I saved 125 access list, 124 access list is saved with that particular question. I can go for 2, 3, 4 statements also. I'm not telling I have to do it everything in one only. If you have another requirement, you make one more access list with the object group. This time you take LAN users as a source and then server as a destination. You take another set of servers, public server, whatever, and do it. But at least the question which I asked was to, if you do it with single access list, you're going to make 125 access list. You saw this just now. He only added that these statements. I never did it. But I did my job with one statement. Let him do. Because you want to show him, we want to show us, no, specifically. See now 10.3. 10.3, 10.10 comes, I added later, no? He's showing 10.3 later on. See, he did telnet just now. He might do ww on server. So I might go here and say IP HTTP server. Then I say IP HTTP authentication local, and then I say username Cisco, password Cisco, and then I can go here and say telnet 10.1.1.2, and then I say 80. Show IP INT brief. This guy 10.3 is trying to do HTTP. The count is there, but server is not working. What we will do? Server means firewall is allowing. So now the hit count will be 3. Now the hit count will be 3. See? WW is working. I can use 443. Connection refused from the server, not from the firewall. Firewall is permitting. This time it is HTTPS. Hit count 1. 10.3 is trying to do HTTPS. Give me any questions regarding object group. Hello, all of you there. Let's start. So I'll be sending you the object group examples, how to apply the object group. If you're making an ICMP group for echo and echo reply, you can do that also. You need to first make a protocol for ICMP. So what I'll do, ICMP type. In the object group, you should say ICMP type. ICMPS is the name. I gave echo and echo reply. You can go on adding afterward trace route and all. I have to create a protocol also, ICMP protocol. So in the source, I applied ICMP protocol. In the services, I applied ICMPS. Okay. I can just say out underscore in branch servers. So show run access list out underscore in. But then you need to remove this statement, or you have to add it in between before this. I'll just remove it. See, what is the advantage of firewall access list? If you remove one statement, all the other statements are still intact. In normal access list also, you can remove one of the statement just highlighting, and other statements are in router. If you remove one statement, all the other statement is lost. You can do this too also. Ping 10.1.2. Again, the ping is not working. So show run access list. Show access list in underscore DMZ. DMZ line 3. Permit ICMP any. It's not pinging. Hit count is there for ICMP. Hit count is there for ICMP. Is allowing echo reply or echo request. Echo reply, sorry. Echo request is, so show access list out underscore in. ICMP host 3. At least for echo is allowed. Why? Show IP INT. Can this fellow ping? show access list. Hit count is there for ICMP. Any I said once again. Show CONN detail. One 172.16.10.3 ping 172.16.10.3 pinging. Ping 20.1. So in order to receive a ping, you should have a statement on ASA. So when I say show access list out underscore in, for 172.16.10.3, protocol is ICMP. Protocol is ICMP. 172.16.10.3, host is 10.1.1.2, echo. Hit count is there 7. That means traffic is coming in. One. Show access list out in. Begin with 172.16.10.3. If I want to see only 10.3, what is the command? Show access list out in begin. So he'll showing me 10.3. Okay. Eight hit counts. One minute. Let me cancel this. Oh. So I try to ping my gateway. It's working. I try to ping. Let me check show access list in underscore BMC. No access group. in underscore DMZ in interface. So run access group. There's some other issue because just now I said permit IP any, still it's not working. Okay, it should work. There might be some switch issue in between that is not allowing. Secondly, the security level is also 100. It's 0. Once again we apply access group out underscore in interface outside. Working. We apply the other access list which we removed in okay. Show access list. Show access list out underscore in pipe begin 172.16.10.3. One 172 trying to ping. Show run access hyphen group. Thirteen hit counts. Okay. 14 hit counts. So clear? There was some issue with the security level, and that was because of that it was not working. So I hope you guys understood today object group. Now we can't start a new topic. We are going to take a lot of time. So we'll end here only today. Okay. I hope you understood this. I did some troubleshooting. I showed you it was simple troubleshooting. We tried to remove the access group, how to see the access list, how to see the access group. Okay. All of you okay with this? Have any question, you can ask me today or you can ask me tomorrow also. I'll send you the recording and the notes, or you can say the command for object grouping. Okay, take care, good night, bye all of you.